So it's time to restart. It's been a while, and I've been writing. That's mostly why it's been a while. If you're new here, I am Anna Jenkins. I'm a dark romance author, and if you're not new here or you've been here before, welcome to my whole new restart where I am talking about my author stuff. Yeah, Anna Presents was short-lived and gone. And now it's just about my author stuff because I'm an author and I want to talk about my author stuff. I discovered that this was my niche on Instagram because I started making these reels where I'm talking about my author shit. But YouTube doesn't like profanity, so I decided to change it to my author stuff just for the sake of rules. We'll call it that, the sake of rules. Anyway, so what comes with my restart? Basically my whole author brand. I'm going to be redoing my website. I'm going to be redoing my social media. About the only thing I'm not going to be redoing are these babies, because in my opinion, they're good. They're perfect. Might update the covers again in the future because, as with a lot of things in this world, especially in the book world, covers evolve. So right now, they are aesthetically pleasing, but in the future, they may not be, and I may need to update them just to catch eyes. So that's going to be fun. But other than that, yes, updating my website, updating my social media, just updating everything, updating my author brand, doing a whole reset. And sometimes that's what you need to do. And I kind of wish I had known this before I decided to take this seriously. Just to give you a little background, I published my first book, Unexpected Chance, right there, back in 2020. And I have some regrets about how I published it. I have no regrets about publishing the book because I love that story. But I wish I had done my research when I published that story because I just published it. I wrote it, I edited it, I sent it off to a professional editor. They gave it back to me and I thought, yay, I'm done. I just need to get a nice cover and I'm good. No. I didn't realize there was a lot more to it. And since then, I've been learning and learning and learning while I continue to write. And things have gotten better, but they're not to the point where I want them to be. I want to be doing this full time. I want to be able to support my family doing this. And I am nowhere near there. I'm still working a 9-to-5 job. My husband's still working 9-to-5 job. And we're in a house that's not ours. And we don't want that. We want to be in our own home and we want to be comfortable with our lives. For me, that's writing. So I need to do what I need to do. And I'm going to work my ass off to get it done. But it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be a long road ahead of me. And I'm already having to jump back and restart. But it's okay. At least by restarting, I acknowledge that I've made mistakes and that I'm ready to fix those mistakes and keep moving forward. So that's what I'm going to do. So I finished the first draft of Valkyrie. Yes, I did. I was so excited. I actually finished it on my wedding anniversary, which was on May 25th. And I had this whole setup where I gave you guys the progress and everything. And being the amateur that I am, I filmed it all incorrectly. So it was like, gotta restart. Story of my life. But it's for the better. Because now I can speak candidly and tell you all the dirt. Well, please stick around for it. So, Valkyrie, kicked my ass. The climax kicked my ass. I spent weeks trying to get that climax right. And I rewrote it and I rewrote it and I rewrote it and I deleted it every time because it just wasn't what I was looking for. And the nice thing about being an indie author and writing in first person like I do was that I can change the voice anytime I want. And that's what it was. A certain voice had to be heard for this climax in order for it to come to light. And basically, once I let that voice be heard, and it just flowed and flowed. And I was so happy that it finally happened. Yeah. So I got that out and I finished it on my wedding anniversary. I wrote a whopping 85,000 words, all total, for the first draft. Yeah. Now, I had originally slated this first draft to be 60,000, but when I got to 60,000, it's just like, I'm not done. These characters have more to say. This story has more to say. So I just continued to write. And I was excited and I was happy because you want those words to come through. You don't want the longest book in the world because no one's going to want to read a book that's this thick. Well, some of us might, but it has to be a really engaging book. But realistically, you need to make sure that it's a readable length in order for a person to be like, okay, I can invest my time into this. Happy with 85,000 words. And I went ahead and printed off the first draft. Some people say, no, don't print your first draft, but this is what works for me. So I went ahead and printed my first draft and made it into a Happy Planner notebook. See? Happy Planner. Now, you may be wondering, why didn't you use a 3-ring binder? Simple. I'm left-handed. And for those of you who are right-handed, you just simply don't understand how when you're writing, your own arm and hand blocks you. And that happens a lot with 3-ring binders and certain notebooks. And I have found that having the capability of doing this is a big help because I'm no longer blocked. Yeah. So I'm going to be editing that soon and I will be showing you my progress for it. I like to take a little break whenever I finish a draft, and it's actually recommended by a lot of authors that you do that. Take a small break, step away from it. That way your mind has time to refresh. And then when you go back in and do your edits, you can see what you missed, what needs to be added, what needs to be taken out. That way you can get the second draft in and do it all over again. Yeah, you basically do it until you're sick of it, and then you continue doing it just to make sure that it is perfection. Another mistake I made. I'll tell you more about that. I'm just going to make a video about all the mistakes I made with my first book, but it was the only way that it could grow. So either way. And I'm going to be working on social media, making my social media presence a little more known. I gotta do it with TikTok. Instagram, I'm doing okay. I could be better, but I gotta seriously do it with TikTok. That's where us writers are blowing up. And I just gotta find what works. I thought I was doing okay with the aesthetic videos that I see out there, the carousel aesthetic videos, but no, those just aren't working. They work for other authors, and that's great for them, but they are not working for me. So I just got to find what works. Each one of us is different. Each one of us has something that works for them, and I think I may have found it. It's testing out, so I'll let you know. I also did secure the book cover artist I was seeking. I'm so excited. Yes. We finalized the deposit yesterday, so I'll be working with a fantastic book cover artist. I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she's okay with me giving out that information, but she is fantastic. She's worked with some of my favorite authors, so I'm really excited to be working with her. And my husband is going to be contributing to this as well. So for those of you that don't know, my husband is a fantastic artist. Like, wow. Yeah. He drew that kind of artist. And he made the logo for Valkyrie. And I'm so excited. And my book carb artist, I sent her a picture of it and she's like, wow, that is awesome. So we're going to be incorporating that into the cover work, and I'm so excited to see his work on there. I've been wanting to use his artwork on my books for a long time, but it's really hard to incorporate artwork into the type of genre that I write. It works for certain romance genres, but not for the genres that I write, which is mostly dark romance and mafia romance, and right now, biker romance. So, but I'm so excited that I get to incorporate it. Yay! I told myself at the beginning of this year, I made a vision board, in case you guys aren't aware of what a vision board is. A vision board is just basically where you make yourself a board of what you envision for either the quarter or for the year. And I went ahead and made myself one. Let me just go ahead and find it really quick. Yeah, I'm not even looking at the camera when I do this. Where are you, vision board? I should have had this ready. I wasn't even thinking about using it till just now. Found it. So this was my vision board for the year. This is what I created. And I just created it because, you know, I wanted to get a glimpse of what I wanted my year to look at. And one thing that has really stuck with me is this right here. Right there. Going at my own pace. And that's something I never really just didn't really hit me. You know, I always thought I had to go at everyone else's pace. Like, oh, I got to get this done or it's not going to get done. Or I got to get this because everyone else is doing it. It's like, and when I put this down on my vision board, and I actually presented this to a group of ladies who were awesome. And it was a vision board party that a friend of mine held at the beginning of the year. And it was life-changing for me. But anyway, when I presented this and I said, I'm going at my own pace, it really resonated with me. It stuck with me that I need to do things my way at my own pace. Because if I keep doing it the way everyone else is doing it, then it's not going to go the way I want it. It's not going to happen the way it's supposed to. I'm just going to be stuck in this rut. And I've discovered that since I started doing things at my own pace, things have been going better. I mean, I've been feeling better about what I'm doing with my author brand, you know. I still got a long way to go. It's nowhere near perfect. It may never be perfect, which is perfectly fine because, you know, we're all human. But for me, this is working. I feel more confident in what I'm doing and I'm really happy with it. So it's probably the best thing I could have come to realize is that I need to go at my own pace. So that has been my mantra for the year. And it might be the mantra for the rest of my life. Going at my own pace. Nothing wrong with it. I'm happy with it. So, and I highly encourage you, if you haven't made a vision board, you should, because they're very inspiring, especially for what you got going, either for a quarter, for the year, or even for a day, or just what you're working on. Make yourself a vision board. That way you can see what you're envisioning. All right. And I do want to remind you guys that if you do want to hear more about Valkyrie, I do have an exclusive teaser. I did include the link in the description box. You just have to click on it and you get a free teaser into Valkyrie and you get to see what the story is about. In case you don't know what the story is about, you're new here, Valkyrie is my female biker club series that I'm going to be releasing this year. It is going to be a standalone series, meaning that each book is going to focus on a different story, which means you don't necessarily have to read them in order, but it's going to be encouraged, especially for the first book. And the first book, I am so in love with it. And I'm really anxious to start writing a second book. And as for my other work, well, I do need to get back to Mob War. Right there. Part 1 is out. Loved it. I received rave reviews for it. And I need to start working on the second book. I already have it halfway done, but then I just hit a roadblock. And so that's one of the things I'm going to be doing. Since I'm taking a small break from Valkyrie, just to get those juices reflowing, I'm going to be going back to Mob War and seeing what I can create. Will Part 2 be released this year? Probably not, but you never know. You never know. It could happen. But either way, I'm really excited. I'm going at my own pace. I'm feeling good, feeling really good about what's going on. And I hope you guys are here for the ride. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. I've talked your ear off long enough. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, please subscribe, please like. That way I can continue growing and I can continue giving you more interesting videos. I do plan on making more B-roll, experimenting with that. That's a whole new world to me, but I am going to be working on that because I know people love it. And I'm planning on doing more days of my life, planning on showing you more of my environment. Right now we're just kind of confined to my little office, but I do plan on showing you more. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.